to this latest episode in the Business Tools for Architects series. We deal with lots of architects all over the world, and a common question is, when do we next hire a new employee? And follow-up question, who should we employ? This often happens with architects who are on their own. When did they take on their first employee? And who should that employee be? And we find that the two options are that you either get busy, get help, which we find lots of people wait till we get the work and then we'll get the people. And yes, you can imagine that has lots of downsides. That means that you don't have time to induct, to train. You don't have time to get the culture of your business embedded in your new employee. But then on the other hand, you've got to pay for that employee while they become productive. And what if you don't have enough work for them? So that's the one side of the coin. The other side is that you wait till last minute, you hire someone, you put them at a desk and you hope that they're productive from day one. So what we'd like to do today is to introduce a little bit more strategy into how we hire people in an architectural practice and how we think about this in perhaps a slightly different way. Okay, we're going to look at this hiring problem through the eyes of a different industry. And that industry is the distribution industry, where we run vehicles and collect parcels and deliver those parcels. So on day one of our distribution company, we've got a capacity here, and that capacity will be the same over time until we change it. And on day one, obviously, that capacity is one vehicle. The same way as if you're setting up an architectural practice, on day one, if you're on your own, then you have a capacity of one architect. And that is what we've got to work with. And we go out, we've got no business on day one, and then over time, our workload or our sales develop. The question then is, as our sales develop, what happens to our vehicle delivery service or distribution service? Well, down here we're really flexible, can go north of the city in the morning and south of the city in the afternoon. We can come and do a quick run and pick up your parcel because we're very flexible. Then as time goes on, we need a bit more structure and getting a little bit busier. So now we have to set a set run during the week, and we've got to tell people that we're in your area on a Thursday or on Friday or whatever. Not as flexible as you were at the beginning, because your capacity is being used and you're busier, the same as an architect. You get more and more busy. So then as you come up here, the question arises, when do I get help? When do I get in a distribution business? When do I buy another vehicle? Or in an architectural practice, when do I hire someone to help me? And who is that person I need to hire? Okay, so the key is to do this early enough. And we find people saying to us, well, we don't want to hire too early, but we don't want to leave it too late. And the vehicle industry and distribution industry is a very good analogy for this, because as your vehicle fills up, if you leave it too late and you try to use your capacity beyond its capabilities, then what you find is that you start letting people down. You start missing deadlines. Architecture is no different. So there will come a time, unless you plan your business to be a one-person business and remain at that level, and that's the vision of the future, if you're marketing and looking for work, the chances are that workload is going to increase the same as the vehicle. So the question then becomes, who do we hire and when do we hire them? Okay, so if we again use the distribution industry as an example, there are two key questions here, two key hiring questions. And question number one is, what's the trigger to get the next van, or in your case, the next employee? What needs to happen for you to say, now is the time? And the key to these questions is, this all can happen in advance. You don't have to wait until you're absolutely desperate and you're hiring in a hurry and you start letting people down and making mistakes and all sorts of things, because you don't have time to train, induct and bring people into your culture of your business. So what is that trigger? Is it a certain amount of revenue per month? Is it a certain amount of hours that you as the architect are doing? There will be a combination perhaps of triggers, but you want to decide that in advance so that you don't leave it too late, because we know the problems that come from leaving the first hire or the next hire too long. And then the question, the distribution company, what size of van do we need? Okay, so we've got one vehicle of a particular size now, but is the next one going to be the same size, or do we need two small ones, or one even bigger van than we've got now? And you look at the profile of the business, how the business is growing, the type of work that's been attracted. And being an architect is no different. You can look at the profile of your clients, you can look at your marketing, you can look at where you're positioned in the marketplace, and you can decide the type of person you need. Do you need a person with experience to help you and allow you to do the marketing, or do you just need a graduate who's going to help you with some of the less difficult and work that needs less experience? That's a choice you can make. And once you make that choice, then you can start preparing. You can write job descriptions. You can allocate tasks to this, at this time, fictional person that you're going to employ. So these are all ideas for you to really think strategically about hiring your next hire in your architectural practice. And being strategic is absolutely key. We meet so many architects who are tired out and in the danger of getting burned out because they haven't recruited properly. And funding comes into this too. You need to build up enough money so that you can cover the cost of somebody for a month or 2 months until they become productive. So a lot of things to consider when you're hiring people, but the encouragement is not to leave it too late. So if you find this interesting, why don't you join our Business School for Architects? It's absolutely free. There's a very active community in there. You'll find it at skool.com/Archibus. And in there you'll find free materials, a vibrant community, and also Archibus coaches who are there to help and answer your questions and perhaps give you some additional support should you require that. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you haven't watched the other videos, I encourage you to go and have a look and give us some feedback on whether this is what you need and is this the form and length and type of information that you would like.